विचित्र व्हायरस पासून वाचण्याकरता सैनिक म्हणून लढायचंय, जिंकूचे आत्मविश्वासाने आपल्याला लढायचंय. आपल्याकडे मृत्यूची संख्या जास्त आहे हे सत्य असतं तरी देखील ज्या पद्धतीनं आतापर्यंत आपण काम करतोय ते काम जर आपण बघितलं तर 60 ते 70% पॉझिटिव्ह रुग्ण आपल्या टेस्टमध्ये सापडले. आपण भरपूर टेस्ट करतोय, 31,000 टेस्ट राज्यात केल्या, 31,000 चाचण्या आपण मुंबईत केल्या असं उद्धव ठाकरेंनी सांगितलं. धान्य, दूध, औषधं यांची आम्ही सोय करू असं देखील माहिती उद्धव ठाकरे दिलेली आहे. प्लस आपण ज्या पद्धतीनं याची सील केलेले भाग आहेत त्यातले जे लोक आहेत त्यांना सुद्धा उद्धव ठाकरे सांगितलं खूप गरजेचं होतं असतं.
शशिकांत
तर तपासण्या करायच्या यादी आहे.
शशिकांत
तर ऑफलाईन दिसतात ते.
शशिकांत बोल. शशिकांत
हा
येतोय, आवाज येतोय?
येतोय.
ओके ओके. मग आता मी त्या योगेश जाधवला पण सांगितलं जॉईन व्हायला.
सांगितलंय ना?
हा, आत्ताच्याच 2 मिनिटापूर्वी. तो सिंगापूरला असतो ऍक्च्युली.
ओके.
बरं, माझं काय म्हणणं आहे, म्हणजे आता प्रेझेंटेशन चांगलं होण्यासाठी म्हणजे बँडविथचा जो इश्यू म्हणजे आता शक्यतो आतापर्यंत आला नाही, पण मग लोकांना तो म्हणजे तू जसा फोटो डिस्प्ले केलाय लाईव्ह ठेवण्यापेक्षा विल दॅट हेल्प और कसं, म्हणजे कसं फक्त ऑडिओ चालू ठेवायचं का? मग
सर ते इंडिव्हिज्युअल लेवलला होतं ना, स्वतःचं कनेक्शन
लेवल असं तरी इन अ होल ट्रॅफिक गोज फ्रॉम ऑल द वे ना, बोथ साइड्स.
तसा फरक नाही पडत रे.
एनिवेज
कसं आहे ज्यावेळेस when speaker is going to like say deliver ना, तर त्याचं फक्त हे ठेवायचं चालू.
त्याचंच ठेवायचं.
तेव्हा नाही, तेव्हा सांगता येते ना, स्पीकर जर बोलत असेल ना तुम्ही पर्सनली स्वतःचा व्हिडिओ स्टॉप करा म्हणून.
किंवा आपण इथून करू शकतो. म्हणजे कसं आहे, इथून म्यूट सगळं कसं म्यूट आणि त्या गोष्टी करू शकतो आपण, तसं काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही.
बट ठीक आहे, आता तरी आपलं जर तसं काही वाटलं की प्रॉब्लेम क्रिएट होतोय तर आपण बघूया. अदरवाईज आता सो फॉर सो गुड. मग याला जॉईन करायला सांगतोस का? म्हणजे त्याचं पण बरोबर प्रेझेंटेशन दिसते का लोकांना वगैरे?
संदेशला सांगितलंय मी. संदेश ह्याला भूषणला
सांगितलं. येस, जॉईन होतोय सर.
तसा तो प्रोफेशनल, त्याच्यामुळे तो प्रॉब्लेम नाहीये. ही इज क्वाइट अ प्रोफेशनल पर्सन, सो ही शुड नॉट बी अ प्रॉब्लेम. बट बँडविड्थ इज नॉट इन कंट्रोल ना कोणाच्या.
राईट.
अक्षय, कसा आहेस तू?
एकदा भूषणला परत फोन करतो मी.
अक्षय कसा आहेस तू म्हणलं?
हॅलो सर, मजेत आहे सर.
व्हेरी गुड. यू आर डुइंग अ व्हेरी गुड जॉब by monitoring and all those things, helping people to monitor things better, helping the forces.
Thank you.
गुड. तुझं चांगलं काम आहे बरं का अक्षय.
हो, थँक्यू सर.
नाही, असंच पाहिजे रे. काय आहे,
केले 2-3 ठिकाणी प्रपोज केलेलं आहे 2-3 ठिकाणी.
ओके.
मटेरियलाइज नाही झालं अजून, पण आहे.
योगेश जाधव पण जॉईन झाला वाटतं. योगेश झालायस ना जॉईन तू? योगेश जाधव?
हो सर, जॉईन आहे मी.
हा, योगेश ऐक. योगेश, तू म्हणजे योगेश जाधव, मी, अक्षय सुद्धा, आपण जनरली म्हणजे, आणि अजून शशिकांत जो नॉमिनेट करेल लोकांना, त्या 3-4 लोकांनी ज्याला जमेल त्यांनी एक 10 मिनिटं अगोदर जॉईन व्हायचं इथून पुढे. आणि सगळं सेटअप बरोबर आहे की नाही, सगळं व्यवस्थित चालतंय की नाही, ही आपली एक मॉरल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी राहील. आर यू ओके विथ दिस?
येस सर.
हा सर, ठीक आहे. ओके.
Shashikant, then we should be okay with these 4-5 people now, and obviously Muralidhar coming in picture as well again.
अच्छा सर, ते 40 मिनिटाचा सेशन असतो ते सॉर्ट आउट झालं का?
नाही, तो आपल्या कंट्रोल मध्ये नाहीये ना, तो तसा आहे.
अच्छा, त्याला प्रीमियम अकाउंट लागतं.
ठीक आहे, पण आपण आय थिंक वी आर ओके विथ दिस ना. 1 minute डिस्टर्बन्स शुड नॉट बी अ प्रॉब्लेम फॉर अस.
बरोबर आहे सर. आणि प्रॉब्लेम असा आहे सर, ते भरपूर लोकांपर्यंत पोहोचत नाहीये. ऍक्च्युली ते पुणे अजिंक्यन्स ग्रुप बंद झाल्यापासून आम्हाला ते हेच येत नाहीये, नोटिफिकेशन येत
तुला टाकतो आपल्या पुणे स्पिरिटेड ऐकून घे, मी तुला ग्रुप मध्ये टाकतो पुण्याच्या, बरं का?
ओके सर.
हॅलो, आपण पुण्याला एक ग्रुप सुरू केलेला आहे, त्याच्यात टाकतो तुला मी, आणि आपण प्रोपगेट करत राहूया, काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही. आणि वी अंडरस्टँड एव्हरीवन शुड गेट बेनिफिटेड, but everyone has to step in also on a voluntary basis. And Shashikant is doing his great job by communicating to maximum possible. आणि आपण प्रोप्रायटरी करू. आणि सध्या थोडा टेक्नॉलॉजीचा पण आपल्याला थोडा कन्सर्न आहेच, नाही म्हणलं तरी पीपल हॅव डिफरंट ओपिनियन्स, झूमवर यायचं का नाही यायचं, डेटा सिक्युरिटी हे वगैरे वगैरे अशा बऱ्याच गोष्टी चालू असतात. पण ऑल सेड अँड डन, गुड थिंग शुड नॉट हॅव अ प्रॉब्लेम. ठीक आहे.
एक्झॅक्टली सर, बरोबर आहे.
तर आपण रिव्हिजिट करतोय कोणाला कमिशन पोहोचतंय का नाही पोहोचतंय, हाऊ डू वी सी दॅट डे कमिंग टू मेन स्ट्रीम, आणि थिंग्स विल गो बेटर डे बाय डे.
ओके
So
सर,
as
ठीक
Corona virus also will go away day by day.
हॅपी कोरोना.
See,
नाही,
every
go
problem has
go.
some opportunity. बरं का योगेश आणि every problem has some or other opportunity. It's giving you
Right.
learning technology, learning something, maybe community coming together virtually for better deeds also. बरोबर आहे
Right, right. हो हो.
बरोबर आहे सर.
आज recording
शशिकांत झालाय का जॉईन?
हो हो, जॉईन झालं ना.
रेकॉर्डिंग करतोय शशिकांत
हो
करतोय.
हो हो, चालू केलंय मी, चालू केलंय. तुमच्या
दिसतंय
ह्याच्यावरती येत
आम्हाला
असेल.
कळतंय.
नाही नाही, तुमच्या
आयकॉन
मोबाईल.
येतो ना वर, रेकॉर्डिंग म्हणून येतो.
हा,
आय थिंक बरेच लोक, निखिल पवार पण होतोय, संतोष जाधव तो आपण येतोय, राजेंद्र खरात येतोय. गुड गुड वे. वी आर जम्पिंग बाय
लॉकडाऊन
फोर
एक्सटेंड झालंय सर. लॉकडाऊन एक्सटेंड झालंय आय थिंक.
हो,
हा.
ते 30 एप्रिल पर्यंत झालंय. 30 एप्रिल.
हो हो हो, 30 एप्रिल पर्यंत झालंय सर.
चांगली गोष्ट आहे ना.
चालेल. आपल्याला अजून 16 सेशन मिळाले नाही चांगले एक्स्ट्रा.
आणि
संतोष
याचा
तुझं पण
मॅक्सिमम,
प्रेझेंटेशन छान होतं बरं का काल.
या गोष्टीचं मॅक्सिमम
Yes, sir.
युटिलाइज
Thank you,
करायला,
sir.
म्हणजे आपण
Thank
करायला
you.
पाहिजे चांगल्या कन्स्ट्रक्टिव्ह गोष्टीसाठी.
हम्म.
अपॉर्च्युनिटी
Yes,
आहे.
Yes, sir.
मी
अरे वा, आलाय वाटतं, हा जॉईन झाला वाटतं ना. स्टेप्स
Hello.
फॉर
हा,
स्टार्टिंग.
भूषण
गुड, व्हेरी गुड,
Hi,
व्हेरी गुड. भूषण, वेलकम.
thank you so much. How are you,
वेलकम भूषण.
everyone?
भूषण वेलकम.
One food technologies with one food service provider.
Hi Bhushan, how are you? Shashikant here.
I'm good. Thank you so much. I am
And
good.
thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot for your, let's say, this valuable time, because let's say Sandesh suggested me that and even I have heard of you. Okay, you are conducting lot many sessions, okay, at different places, but then somehow, like say, me and Madan Patil, we were supposed to attend one of your session in Pune, but then we could not make it.
Right. Okay.
So we
Okay.
thought, like say, this could be one of the opportunity for us to attend your session, okay, sitting at home.
Okay.
अं,
Thank you so
भूषण,
much. Yes, sir.
भूषण,
Yes,
जस्ट
sir.
म्हणजे तुझं प्रेझेंटेशनची साधारणतः लेंथ काय असणार आहे?
सर मी काय नाही, किती तुम्ही सांगा, लाईक तुम्ही सांगा.
See, what we have planned is we'll start at 5, around 5:35 to 40, because almost 16-17 people have joined. तर आपण
Okay.
साधारण 5:35 ते 5:40 पर्यंत सुरू करूया, and targeted to finish by 6:10.
ओके, चालेल सर, मला काय नाही.
नाही म्हणजे नाही, जस्ट वी आर ट्राइंग टू बी गेटिंग
नाही,
डिसिप्लिन इन प्रेझेंट, यू नो इट.
योगेश,
सर
योगेश, आज ना
सॉरी, याचं एक तासच.
एंटर सेशन त्यासाठीच आहे आज.
हा, सॉरी, माझ्या लक्षात नाही आलं ते.
नाही,
एनिवे, यू
कारण-
कॅन कंटिन्यू टू 6:30, नो इश्यू.
नाही, हे 6:30च्या पर्यंत घेऊ दे त्याला, कारण कसं आहे की दिस इज इम्पॉर्टंट सेशन.
हो, तेच 6:30 पण जाऊ दे, माझ्या लक्षात नाही आलं. मग मला वाटलं अजून कुणी आहे.
ओके,
6:30 इज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लेम, नॉट अ इश्यू.
maybe we can take one
I think-
slot here, and like we can maybe perhaps we can try another slot as well for the same
Yeah.
session
yes,
with
we
different
can.
topics.
That shouldn't be a problem.
Yes.
Right now
discussion झालेलं.
right now I will be speaking on the food processing. On next, I mean, perhaps on the I may conduct next session on import and export of food processing or something like that.
Right.
Or third would be something like starting of, like how to establish your food processing industry or something like that. Maybe
Sure.
like I have a number of sessions. Let's see how we can conduct.
Sure.
आणि भूषण,
Yes, sir,
Bhushan.
please. Sir.
मला एक अजून एक क्वेश्चन, आर यू हॅव्हिंग एनी एक्सपर्टाइज फॉर पेरिशेबल प्रोडक्ट सप्लाय चेन मॅनेजमेंट?
Yeah. We do entire, sir. We do entire turnkey basis, right?
नाही, that is one thing, but perishable products has a very different supply chain management cycle, right? So that can be a different topic, because perishable product has a very less shelf life or probably no shelf life to a certain
Right.
extent.
सर मी सप्लाय चेन कन्सल्टंट आहे, पण तो खूप तो खूपच हे खूप हार्ड टॉपिक आहे रिचेबल सप्लाय.
बरोबर, ठीक आहे. आता आपण मग probably next 2-3 minutes we should start with your presentation. I think things are okay. Everyone is able to listen, see, share. So Shashikant would give a go and we can start.
Like say Sandesh Patil will introduce Bhushan, okay, and
Okay.
then like say from there onwards, like say Bhushan can take up, and
Okay.
before that, like say I'll announce that like say everyone has to mute their microphone. बऱ्याच वेळेस त्याच्यामुळे प्रॉब्लेम येतो.
संदेशच नाहीये पण.
आहे सर, मी आहे.
हरवला नाही तो. He
नाव
is
काय
trying to
संदेश?
bind everyone. Binder technology by binding.
मी आता काय करतो माहितीये का, सगळ्यांना म्यूट करतो आणि जेवढे बोलणार आहेत ना तेवढ्यांनाच मी म्हणजे संदेश, भूषण आणि भूषण तुझं नाव काय लिहिलंय तुझं ह्याच्यात, काय तुझं नाव दिसत नाहीये.
रीडिंग म्हणून येते.
रीडिंग
आहे. ओके ओके, सॉरी, मी चेंज करतो ना.
दिग्विजय पण आलाय का साताऱ्यावर ना? हो, ग्रेट.
हा, आता आहे. मी सगळ्यांना म्यूट करतो आधी आणि मग नंतर I'll unmute few people, speaker and Sandesh, and then later on like say we can go ahead, right? So I think we should start now because it's 5:34. So I'll mute all. Sandesh.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like say we have Bhushan with us. Okay, so I would request you to introduce Bhushan and then let Bhushan take over the charge, and he will start the session. Right? Welcome Bhushan to the forum.
Good evening everyone. माझं नाव संदेश पाटील आहे, 2004 बॅच, and भूषण पण आमच्याच बॅचचा आहे, 2004 बॅचचा, and he is very renowned food processing consultant. He has been traveling across the world and giving session on food industry, and from my batch and entire Ajinkyan family, I welcome him to the Zoom session. So next all the sessions about the food industry will be conducted by him periodically. So welcome Bhushan, you can start with the presentation and the session.
Well, thank you Sandesh for your kind introduction, and thank you so much everyone for being so gracious. It's really astounding. Right now we have around 24 Ajinkyans online. So let's see how we can go around, and let's I'll quickly reintroduce myself and what I have been doing, so we can get few more numbers by then. I'm an Ajinkyan from 2004 batch. Later on, I did my
unmute
food technology.
Sorry. Hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah, like say, someone has unmute. So can you just mute the microphone, please? Other than speaker. Yeah, continue.
Yeah. So basically, I did. I'm from 2004 batch pass out, and later on, I did my BTech in food technology from Marathwada Agriculture University, and further, I was very fortunate to get a full scholarship at one of the top British university, that is University of Reading. So that university is basically topping the all kind of food industry researchers in Europe and of course across globe. So I was scholar there. So for some time I worked with a few companies in UK, and then I moved back here in India. I work here as well in public and private sector of India, both these sectors here. And after some experience, I established my own consultancy. known as Binder Technology Consultancy. And right now we are into entire project management of the food processing industries. That means concept to commissioning, we provide services to the entire block of food industry, that is food industry, meat, dairy or snack or confectionery or bakery or be it any kind of consumable food item. We do provide services for those industries. And yes, that's particular my introduction. And yes, thank you so much, everyone. Maybe I think we should begin, because may I start now?
Yeah, please.
I think we have, because yeah, okay. So yes, the basic first thing, like everyone is at home now. Am I right? I hope everyone is at home, and the first thing that people, like everyone is discussing what we should be eating and what we should be consuming. And there's rise of kind of immunity food nowadays, and everyone is everyone is getting tons of messages what we should be, and how we should be boosting our immunity, what you call it, immunity. But as a food technologist, I would like to clarify that we could not boost our economy only by eating or consuming any kind of food. The immunity could be the immunity. Of course, the food is the main immunity booster, but more than that, along with food, we need to have exercise. Perhaps everyone have forgot since the school time that like exercise is very important uh, part of our life, and it should be very important part of our life, no matter what you do, how busy you are. Perhaps a kind of walk, or like any kind of any form of exercise is very important. And the sleep is very important. Food, sleep, and exercise, this all this particular these three combinations would boost our immunity. And yes, as a food technologist, I have been working with various industries, bakery industries, and currently I'm working on energy bar industry. So, uh, of course, carbohydrates, protein, fats, and there's another segment growing, kind of superfood. That's very important segment in the food industry. So people are searching any kind of what you say, superfood. Perhaps एक एक मला एक छोटी गोष्ट सांगायची. मी पण एक छोट्या गावातलाच मुलगा आहे, आणि एक मोरिंगा is something that you must have heard. Everyone must have heard what moringa leaves are, what moringa food is. And basically moringa is nothing but just kind of leaves. शेवग्याच्या शेंगाचा झाडाचे पानं, त्याला मोरिंगा असं म्हणतात बेसिकली. बेसिकली त्या गोष्टी फक्त आपण आपण जेव्हा गावात जातो तेव्हा फक्त बकऱ्या, शेळ्या, मेंढ्या वगैरे तेच खातात, आणि आता त्याची किंमत जवळपास काही हजार किलो मध्ये झाली आहे. So this is something, like this is kind of hype in the food processing industries. And we have one more Ajinkyans who is doing processing, who is processing this kind of leaves. I mean, he's eminent into processing of food industries, our food processing, or the food leaves, kind of moringa or some other things. So this is very important. This particular sector is very important. With the current scenario, I would say we have around 60% of population who directly or indirectly depend on agriculture and allied activities. More importantly, this particular 60% means not only farmers, but farmers, traders, wholesalers, retailers, dealers, and even the food technologists like me. We all contribute 60% of population. But more than that, we contribute way less GDP. So every now and then, like when you switch on or switch on your TV, you might be listening the news of farmers as well. And that's the reality of India. And let's see, let's how we can, how we can explore the opportunities. into the food processing industry. Let me say one thing very importantly, that we are very fortunate to be in very good geographical zone of the world. We have deserts, we have snowy lands in the far north, then we have a huge coastal line, and we have the places like Cherrapunji, where we have an amount of rainfall. So this is how India is geographically constructed, and so we have a vast amount of agriculture resources here, maybe from wheat to rice to coarse grain to fruits and vegetables, or any kind of pulses to sugarcane. This is how India is. Well, uh, so we are number one and number two in many other like many other crops, but we don't contribute the productivity that we should be putting up, that we should be having into our fields, because agriculture is very weaker, uh, not in terms of the scientific, but in terms of productivity. We are not we haven't improved much. India hasn't improved much, and so the uh, food sciences and allied sector, or the agriculture and allied sectors are the weaker sectors in India. Uh, it is very important for us, as I said, that India has around 60% of population depend on agriculture and allied activities. So it is our core responsibility, and it should be a great responsibility, uh, that how we should be enhancing the lives of people here. And every now and then, when we listen our news, or what you call the famous celebration of democracy, that is what you say, election, every party has their own agenda, no matter it's like what you say, metropolitan party like AAP, or Congress, or BJP, or Republican Party, or Mayawati's party, or any kind of party. uh, no matter they are working in metro cities, or they're working in uh, countryside, everyone has their own agenda. And even like if there's a election in Mumbai, they have an agenda of how to improve the lives of farmers. But yes, it is kind of very much negligence, not negligence. Everyone is trying hard, but it's very, very, very difficult, to be honest. uh, yes, we have been consuming a lot of wheat. Rice consumption is very good. We have a vast amount of coarse grain like bajra, jowar, and najni and ragi and everything. This is one of the strength of India, because nowadays the gluten-free or kind of vegan diet is also growing. On the other hand, India ranks top into the dairy sector as well. But when you compare our India's dairy sector with other sectors in India, then we are lacking. I mean, when we compare our India's dairy sector with other countries' dairy sector, India's dairy sector is very much lacking. Well, I would like to give you one more reminder. Like when we watch our TVs, we must be think. I mean, if we get a kind of very prominent advertisement of Amul, like we just can maybe set your imaginations. The ladies, like getting milks from each home, and then they contribute. They collect the milk to the kind of van, and van goes to the cooperative, and cooperative goes to the dairy, that is Amul. Of course, that's one of the structural and one of the good compactable model for the India. But that's how the Indian dairy sector moves on. For example, if there's XYZ person, and he puts up any kind of fertilizer, or like not fertilizer, but any kind of XYZ untraceable amount of any kind of chemical, or any kind of poison, not poison, but maybe any kind of stuff into their milk, then whole batch of few thousand liters or few thousand ton liters is a waste. So from the global point of view, India's dairy sector is a non-reliable sector. And if you compare India's dairy sector with other dairy sectors, perhaps the European or American dairy sector, then they are very much organized, because those dairy sector have their own farms, their own cows, or their own uh, herds, or the uh, any kind of good kind of services that they could give, so that like the milk is transported untouchable. I mean, everything is untouchably passed from one source to another source. For example, I can see a kind of I guess most of you are from Pune, and the few brands in Pune are growing nowadays. The Cow Pride and so many brands. I mean, they are though they are on very small scale, but this is something, and this will be a future of India uh, sooner, because I think this particular startups have really a good potential. Perhaps we can imagine, I mean, the COVID-19 is one of the, what you say, not boon, but yes, it is kind of a reminder for us how sensitive and how we should be maintaining sanitations. Is very good reminder for us. Well, fruits and vegetable sector is very good sector. Uh, yes, we have ample of fruits. Yes, we have stayed in Satara for a longer time, but still there is a very big worry from Satara that I mean, Satara is very famous for its strawberry from the Mahabaleshwar, but still the strawberry is very much perishable commodity. But and like it has only shelf life of 2 to 3 days if stored in a good temperature. So from from Satara to Mumbai, or from Mumbai to Kerala, or like north or east Delhi or Punjab, it's very difficult for farmers. And we are very fortunate that Mahabaleshwar contributes around 60% of strawberries to the India's whole strawberry, and we don't store much strawberries. That's again a negative point for the India's or Maharashtra's food processing sector. We don't have many uh, culturally preserved format of products for many things. For example, if you go to Wimbledon matches in UK, then like you get to have a kind of scoop of strawberry cream compulsory. So I mean, there have been so many things. For example, nowadays, like I get few calls from Nasik. Uh, India's winery sector is very good, and we have been doing good progress in wine sector. But unfortunately nowadays, because of this particular pandemic, there's again very difficult. There are so many difficulties for farmers to transport their grapes or any kind of things from from the Nasik to any kind of other uh, any kind of region in any other region. So it's very difficult. Again, we are also fortunate to be along the side of Konkan. So it's known for Alfonso mango. So again, it is very perishable commodity. How it's being transported from Konkan to the Mumbai? Well, all mangoes are being plucked, yes, and they are being collected, yes. But after collection, we don't have much organized transportation system. Well, again, into the food processing, someone just asked me how about the perishability, how to maintain the perishability of any kind of fruits, or I didn't get much question, but let me try explaining with the mango format. This particular mango should be, after plucking I mean, every variety of mango, how it should be cut, there is a science for plucking the mango as well. They shouldn't it shouldn't be plucked as whatever it shouldn't be plucked randomly. The branch and the stem, it should be a few centimeters. So it depends again on varieties of your mango. So it is very important how we should be plucking mangoes, and what should be a distance between leaf and like the kind of gummy substance that we get. If we see a kind of gummy substance on mango, then we never would buy that mango. We never would buy that mango again in the market. So it's very important how we should be plucking. And there's again a future known as pre-cooling. We need to again put those mangoes in water, or we need to again cool it down. Then again we need to repack. Then again we need to dry it, and so on. The things goes on. For example, for transporting mango or supplying mango, if in uh, South Korea or Japan, we need to put a water heat treatment. If you want to put your mangoes in USA market, then you need to the irradiation is very mandatory. Uh, Irradiation is mandatory process. Or if you want to put your mangoes in the European market, then you need to have a specific count of your pesticide content. But here in India, the farmers do come at the last stage. That is, we got this much amount of produce, and we are looking forward to put this produce in the market. And they just come to us, to the food technologists, after they're harvesting, and it may not be possible for us to give the solution at that point. So during your maybe like not during, but maybe before, prior to harvesting, maybe 2-3 months prior to that, we need to start thinking, and we need to give a kind of uh, 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 we need to start forming model for our processing. So it's very important to think, and we need to again structure our models into the food processing. Pulses industry is really growing. Sugarcane industry is also very much growing. I need not say anything about sugarcane industry, because every politician got their own sugarcane factories. Uh, Tea industry is again very important industry of in India, because wherever Britishers rule in the world, they established their rule with tea processing, and wherever French ruled, they started their the kind of coffee fields. They established their coffee fields. For example, in southern part of India, they ruled, and we saw a kind of there's this kind of politics as well in this coffee and tea sector. It is very important that yes, India is the second largest arable land in the world. We have, again, like I said, we have diverse agroclimatic zones across country. So we have all kind of fruits and vegetables. If you think about some Western countries or European countries, they have only a particular kind of temperature. I mean, a kind of cold or kind of hot, or uh, some kind of temperature. It's very important that we have all kind of fruits and vegetable. And maybe because of this pandemic, we got one more reason that we should be eating our locally grown fruits and vegetables. That's very important. Again, we have around the year sunshine. It is very important that how the population is our asset. Yes, the our population is growing. With our population, there are many things are happening in India. The middle class population has more buying capacity, and we have around 45 CR of population. And yes, we are adding one more Australia every year. That is 1.5 CR population every year. But more than that, it's very important that to feed a population, we need around perhaps 4 billion meals every day. So it's very important pool that we need to construct into the uh, food processing industry. Well, again, we have around 60% population depends on agriculture and allied activities. However, that particular 60% population, according to me, that they should be contributing around 50% of GDP, but they don't contribute. They contribute very less than 20% of GDP, or maybe less than that. It depends on your fishery or meat, or it depends again on sectoral wise. But the fishery, India's fishery sector is really doing good because China is epicenter of town of talk in all the countries. Everyone is saying that China is really I mean, everyone wants to speak about China, and every country's future depend on China's export. If China is exporting, that is countries consider that is thriving economy nowadays. But yes, India's fishery sector is very good. India's meat sector is very good because we are the major uh, exporter of meat and fishery uh, fishery and allied few things to the China, and that's very important because China depend on us for this sector. So it's very important that we are contributing to China as well. Very importantly, it's very important. I think that we are running out of time now. Can we extend the meeting?
Yeah, we can
Hello?
again log in. Yes,
Because again, I can see only 1 minute is remaining.
2 minutes are there, but then we can again log in. Yeah.
Okay. So we need to
Yeah.
stop and again relog in, or it will be continued. So sorry.
No, we will have to stop for like say 1 minute. I'll yeah.
Okay. Let's
Yeah,
take a break.
please. Yeah.
Sometimes it
Right.
reconnects automatically as well. Sometimes
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
you
Okay.
continue in the meantime.
Yes.
Okay. I'll continue. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, the kind of processing or kind of post-harvesting losses in India are very much so we don't contribute our fruits and vegetables or any kind of we don't store. The post-harvesting losses in India are huge. For example, I worked on the BRICS policy as well, and that's very important policy. That is perhaps everyone must be knowing the BRICS policies: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So I worked on that particular policy as well. I would like to give one more example of China here, and China has been doing lot many things to contribute their sector. Uh, they have been doing their processing of fruits and vegetables. They have the cold chain supply. The cold supply chain in China has been really doubling every year, and every year they have been adding. The government has been spending 25% on cold supply chain, and that's why we get the Chinese onion or Chinese garlic or Chinese dragon fruit or Chinese oranges even in Indian market. So we really need to take a lot of efforts, and so let's explore how we can do and what exactly we are doing